Do you know about a temple underneath which existed many secret vaults, closed for years, away from the world's eyes? Then some of them were opened, and what emerged from within was such wealth that astonished people. Gold, gems, ancient rare objects. But the story doesn't end there, because not all the vaults were open. One of them still remains closed. A door about which debates, claims, and questions have persisted for years. Why was it not opened? What was the reason? And do some places become mysterious not because of what is hidden within them, but because they remain closed? This is the story of the Padmanabhaswamy Temple.
The Padmanabhaswamy Temple is located in the heart of Thiruvananthapuram, the capital of the Indian state of Kerala. It is considered one of the most important Vaishnavite temples in India. The temple is dedicated to Lord Vishnu. Here, the Lord is worshipped as seated on Ananta Sheshnag. For centuries, this place has been a center of devotion, tradition, and royal patronage. The temple's history spans several centuries. Over time, not only did its religious significance grow, but its prestige also increased. This temple was also associated with the Travancore royal family. The kings considered themselves servants of this temple, not rulers. For them, the temple and its traditions were more important than the state's wealth. For this reason, this place was not just a place of worship. It became a living symbol of faith, history, and heritage. But for a long time, some parts of the temple remained virtually hidden from public view. And later, when attention was drawn to those parts, the discussion wasn't just about the temple, but about the heritage that had been preserved under its care for centuries.
For a long time, little information was publicly available about some of the temple's protected chambers. They were part of the temple's system and were maintained according to tradition. Then, in 2011, during a legal process, it was decided to conduct a detailed inspection of these chambers. The purpose was to assess their condition and document the items found there. A team of experts and officials was formed for the investigation. Then the inspection of several chambers began, one by one. These chambers were marked with different letters for identification, such as A, C, D, E, and F. Records were compiled for each chamber. Everything found there was catalogued. As this process progressed, it became clear that this was not just a routine inspection, because the objects preserved in these chambers revealed a long story of India's history, trade, and dynasties. And soon, the world began to draw attention to this temple.
As the documentation of the various chambers progressed, the picture of the objects preserved there became clearer. These included a large quantity of gold objects, old coins, jewelry, objects adorned with precious stones, materials used in religious rituals, and many other artifacts that were associated with different periods. Some coins dated back to various dynasties of India, while some are also believed to be related to foreign trade. These objects demonstrated that the temple received donations, gifts, and royal patronage over the centuries. This means that this wealth was not accumulated at any one time, but was preserved here over many generations. These discoveries attracted the attention of both historians and the general public. But as much as the objects found in these rooms were discussed, there was also a discussion about the room which hadn't been inspected like the other rooms. From here, the focus of the conversation slowly shifted to a special room, known as Vault B. Vault B has long been referred to differently than the other chambers. It wasn't considered just another safe chamber. Many traditions and beliefs were associated with it. When other chambers were being inspected, questions naturally arose about Vault B. Will it also be inspected? And if so, how? But this is where the situation began to become complicated. Some people associated with the temple believed that this chamber should be left in its original state. According to them, this was not just an administrative or historical matter, but also related to religious traditions. On the other hand, some argued that if other chambers could be documented, then there should be clear information about this chamber as well. Over time, this discussion grew widespread, but one thing remained consistent. Definite information about Vault B was very limited. This is why facts, beliefs, and speculation appear simultaneously around it, and it's important to understand them separately. As discussions surrounding Vault B intensified, various stories and beliefs began to circulate around it. The most well-known belief is linked to the concept of Naga Bandham. Some believe that this chamber was secured using ancient religious rituals. For this reason, its entrance is not viewed merely as an ordinary door. Many accounts mention the presence of serpent figures on the door. According to these beliefs, this represented a specific form of spiritual seal or binding. Certain traditions hold that such a seal can only be undone through specific religious rituals and mantras. It is because of these legends that the Garuda Mantra is frequently mentioned. Some claim that attempting to open the chamber without following the prescribed rituals could lead to dire consequences. Over time, the legend surrounding it grew in magnitude. Some stories suggest that doing so could result in widespread destruction. Others speak of natural disasters, and some claims even allude to cataclysmic events akin to the apocalypse. However, there is no publicly available or verified historical evidence to support these claims. Instead, researchers and historians view them as local traditions, religious beliefs, and narratives that have evolved over time. This is why the discourse surrounding Vault B moves in two distinct directions. On one hand, there is the realm of documents and verifiable facts. On the other, there is the world of faith, tradition, and stories passed down through generations. And perhaps it is this convergence that has made Vault B one of India's most talked about mysteries. Even today, after all these years, there is no definitive answer regarding Vault B. Some consider it an unsolved chapter of history. For others, it is a matter of faith, and some view it simply as a place about which information is limited. Interestingly, people's curiosity is not limited to a potential discovery. It also stems from the uncertainty that persists to this day. Often, when a question remains unanswered, new stories begin to emerge around it. Over time, these stories evolve. They change, and often they blend with actual events to take on a new form. Perhaps that is why the discussion surrounding Vault B has not ended, because it is not merely the story of a place, it is also the story of the curiosity that draws humans toward the unknown. And as long as certain questions remain unanswered, the quest to find their answers will continue.